The struggle is most definitely real. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Really? I was doing so well. Hey guys, so long time no see. I think it's been like a week since, or 2 weeks since I've made like a proper video, and I'm really sorry about that. I've just been crazy busy with school. I had an exam on Friday, which thankfully was so easy. Like, I thought the physics exam would be so hard, but it was like the easiest thing ever. I just had a lot of schoolwork to do, and I just didn't have time to sit down and really film and edit a good video, so I'm very sorry about that. I've been slacking, but I promise it'll pick up, and I'm actually going on vacation this month, so I'll have a lot of time to film and a lot of time to read. Let's get into this wrap-up TBR thing because, man, I read a lot of books this month. So in February, I read 8 books, 1 novella, and 2 graphic novels. So in total, that is 11 books. So that's pretty crazy. I don't even know how I managed to read 11 books, especially because I had so much work, but I think I'm still in like a reading marathon type mood since the bout of books that one happened back in January, and ever since then I've been reading like a machine. First book I read in February was The Uninvited by Sophie Jordan, and I received an ARC of this, and this is out now. So it came out February 25th, I believe. So it is out now if you want to go read it, and I received this as an ARC from my local bookstore that I do reviews for, and yeah, it was very good. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and the reason I gave it half a star off was because sometimes the main character, Davy, kind of annoyed me just a bit, but other than that, it was amazing. It's a very unique concept to a dystopian world like this. I've never read anything like it, I've never heard anything like it, so it's very fresh and very new, and I really recommend it. The next book I read was Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. I still don't know how to pronounce her first name, I am sorry, but this was very good. I think I gave it either a 4 or 4.5. I can't really remember, even though I wrote it down. I think I might have given it a 4.5 stars. It was really, really good. I enjoyed every single part of it. Yes, I really enjoyed it. If you haven't read the series, go read it because this is really, really worth all of the hype that it gets. The next book I read I was really excited about because the movie came out this month and I still haven't seen it, but that is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, and I actually really like this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars naturally because it was really good. I don't even know what to say about this. I didn't think I would like it because it's about vampires, and I absolutely hated Twilight, but this is nothing like Twilight. The whole thing with Dampiers and Moroi and like guardians and stuff like that, that was really interesting, and yes, I really recommend it. It was very good. The next book I read was the Vampire Academy graphic novel by Rochelle Mead, but it was illustrated by Emma Vieceli. And it was adapted by Leigh Dragoon. Again, I don't know how to pronounce their names. But yes, I flew through this. Like, I read this before I went to bed, the entire thing. And it's very cool. Like, I've read manga before, or manga. And I had this little phase where I drew anime and stuff like that. It was a dark time. And I actually had a YouTube channel dedicated to drawing manga. But anyways, I'm not discussing that right now. Maybe in another video. But it was very like nostalgic for me to be reading something like a graphic novel with this type of illustration because it made me feel like I was like 10 again and drawing this stuff. So yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, in the bookstore when I was looking at this book I was like, okay, I went to flip to the Romitri scene because I wanted to see how they did it. The Romitri scene was interesting. I was spoiled by some people in my class, and the guy that spoiled me keeps coming up to me and keeps telling me the spoiler that he told me before, and I've just been like, I will straight up punch you in the face, like, go away. He straight up spoiled me, and so I was just waiting until that thing happened. If you read the series, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It has something to do with something and someone, and so when he said this to me, I'm like, no, you're lying, like, he doesn't, that doesn't happen. And then he's like, yes it does. And then I read, which book is it, Shadow Kiss, I think, I don't know, and it happens, and I'm like, no. Why do authors feel the need to do this? I'm not gonna say what because it's gonna spoil it, but like, why? Anyways, the next book I read was Control by Lydia King, and I read this as the part of the Control read-along, but I wasn't really like reading it along with anyone, and I don't think I was reading it during the dates that other people were reading it, but whatever. I really enjoyed this. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and I actually really like this. I have something marked in here, and I'm not sure what it is. Let me just... Look what I just did. I just ripped the paper. Why? Oh, this is the page that I marked when they first introduced you to Anna, because I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, that's my name. And then it's spelled how my name is spelled, A-N-A, because usually if the name Anna pops up, it has double N. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's me. I really enjoyed this book. I didn't really know exactly what it was about going in, so it was very interesting trying to figure out what the plot was, and I really recommend it if you haven't read it. And this cover is really cool too, like, literally I don't even know why I do these videos, because I have nothing like useful to say about these books. I just say how much I like them. The next book I read was Panic by Lauren Oliver, and I received an ARC of this again from the bookstore that I do reviews for, and this comes out tomorrow, March 4th. And that's pretty exciting. This book was amazing. People could die. People could have died. There was crazy shit happening. Excuse my language there, but that's the only way I can describe this book. Like, honestly. What the heck? It was crazy and I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Like, man, go read it. The next book I read, or not really read to be honest, because I only looked at the pictures and read the little notes written by Jace, Simon, and Clary. It was the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. Like, I read parts of them, like parts of the codex that I found interesting, but I didn't read all of it because I was just like, I don't feel like reading that. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, mostly because of the commentary and the cover, and the rest, I don't know. I don't know. Next book I read was Frostbite by Rochelle Mead, and that is the second book in the Vampire Academy series, and I really enjoyed this. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This was really cool, to be honest. I don't want to say anything to like spoil it, but the character growth, I guess, kind of in this book was pretty cool to see, and like people working together. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say anything else because I'm probably going to accidentally spoil. To go with that, I also read the Frostbite graphic novel, and it's by the same people as the previous one, and yes, I really like this graphic novel. I probably like this better than the first graphic novel. It's 5 out of 5 stars, really good, and I'm really enjoying these graphic novels to read after the book, so definitely gonna continue that. The next book I read was Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead, and again, really enjoyed this book. This one though in particular just like killed me. I don't even want to talk about this book, so I'm gonna like fling it across the room because it's just so many emotions. Like, why, Rochelle Mead, what? Yeah, don't know what else to say. So, yeah. I have not read the graphic novel for Shadow Kiss because I don't have it, so when I buy it, I'll read it. But anyways, the last book that I read in February, I almost said October, I don't know why, was Destroy Me by Tara Mafi, and I read this on my Kobo. Things are happening and things are opening, and come on.
A few moments later.
Oh my goodness.
12 seconds later.
Having some technical difficulties. Oop! Found it. Oop!
1 hour later. 2 hours later.
Where'd you go?
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Destroy Me by Tahira Mafi. Yay, it's working. No, I just turned it off. Crap. That is the cover. Beautiful. 5 out of 5 stars. I really, really, really enjoyed this. It gave me a different perspective on Warner, and now I like him. Which I never thought I would say because, to be honest, in the first book I thought he was an asshole, but I actually kind of like him now. Those are the books that I read in February, and let's get on to the books that I plan to read in March. Currently, I'm reading Unravel Me by Tahira Mafi. Tahira. I don't know. Mrs. Mafi. She's married, right? To Ransom Riggs? Mrs. Mafi. Reading this. I'm on page 198. So I'm almost on page 200, which is exciting, and I'm really enjoying this. I've tabbed 2 parts, and they're all Kenji because Kenji is like, I love him. I'm really enjoying this book, and yeah, I'm excited to see what happens the rest of the series. That's what I'm reading right now, so I'm definitely going to be finishing it. I'm going to start off with the book that I'm probably not going to finish this month, and I don't even know if I'm going to start, but I'm just putting this in there, and I'm going to bring it to Barbados with me because, you know, who knows. And that is Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, and I really, really want to read this, but it's so intimidating. Like, I don't know how to read it. I don't know whether to read it all by itself and just devote like an entire month to reading this book, or like read it in between other books so that I am actually getting some books counted into my reading challenge, but I don't really know. If you've read this book, let me know how you read it, like by itself or in between other books, because I'd really like to know. So the next book that I'm planning on reading is Ignite Me by Mrs. Mafi. Someone please let me know how to pronounce her name, please. It's really bothering me that I don't know how to pronounce her name. But anyways, I'm going to read this to finish off the series, and I'm so excited. The next book I want to read is Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead. And this is the 4th book, the 4th book in the Vampire Academy series. And Shadow Kiss left off in a crazy cliffhanger, and I don't know where it's gonna go from there, but I'm very excited to read this. Next book I want to read is More Than This by Patrick Ness, and this has been on my shelf for quite a while now, and I actually bought it back in like October, I think. And I recently saw my friend Jordana reading this, and I was like, okay, this is a sign from the gods that I need to read this, so I'm going to read it this month. And shout out to Jordana because I think she watches my videos. I'm not 100% sure, but I think she's watching. If you're watching, Jordana, hey! But yes, thank you for inspiring me to read this, because now I'm definitely going to read. The next book that I want to read is very exciting because I've been wanting to read this for such a long time, and it's just, I can't believe I haven't read it yet, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I bought it and I'm going to read it, and I'm just so excited. The next book I want to read is also a book that Jesse the Reader is obsessed with, and he's been like pushing it out to everyone because the 3rd book won't come out unless these books get more attention, and that is The Archive by Victoria Schwab. And I've heard a lot of great things about this, so I'd hate to see like a series go uncompleted just because there's not enough attention towards it. I'm very excited to read this book, and if you haven't read it and you want to go read it right now. Like, go buy it because we need to support Victoria Schwab. Legend by Marie Lu. And yes, my friend Sume got this for me, and I'm very excited to read it. I've heard a lot of great things about the series. I'm very interested to see what this is about, and again, I'm not 100% sure what it's about, but it looks really good. The last book that I'm giving myself an option to read, obviously if I want to read a different book or I want to read more books, I'm just going to choose from my bookshelf, but another book that I've chosen is Unwind by Neil Shusterman. I'm excited to read this. Don't really know what it's about, but yeah. Alright guys, so those are the books that I read in February and what I want to read in March. If you've read any of these books, let me know down below in the comments what you thought about them. And yeah! Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you whenever I post a new video. Yes. And yeah, so